and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, a podcast that thinks that your brand's best voice is your own. Before we jump into our content today, I wanted to let you all know that Heart on Main Street has been raising money for retailers that were affected by the storms last week throughout the central part of the United States. We've especially been focusing on areas within Oklahoma and Nebraska to help those retailers get back on their feet and rebuild their stores. If you were of means, it would mean the world to us at Heart on Main Street if you were able to make a donation. Even $10, $20 goes a really long way in helping these retailers resume their lives and continue to be a part of their communities. You can donate to our organization by visiting our website, heartonmainstreet.org. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so all donations are tax deductible. In today's episode, we are not back out on the road as I indicated last week, but we are going to be speaking with Kara Poliner of the Ely Mercantile. We've been following along in her journey as she opens up her store and is really starting a new adventure of retail ownership within her hometown of Ely, Minnesota. Ely begins its busy season this month, so fishing season and then summertime really brings in a large tourist crowd for Ely. So Kara is learning about opening up her store, experimenting with hours, experimenting with product, and has really seen a good return already in several different ways. So I am very excited to share this interview with her so we can learn all about what's going on at the Ely Mercantile as they're prepping for the busy season. Without further ado, here is Kara Poliner of the Ely Mercantile in Ely, Minnesota. All right, welcome back, Kara. It's so great to see you again. How's everything? Yeah, hey. How's everything going in Ely? And this is kind of beginning of the season. So what's going on in town?
It's our season officially starts Saturday morning, opening fishing here in Minnesota. So I mean, it's kind of when we say Ely is open, but it's the fishing season. It's a lot of guys that are coming up and stuff, and so now things will start trickling and increasing from there. Yeah. I still have some things that I want to get ready yet before I would consider myself fully launched and ready to go. So I'm kind of giving like June 1st now as my time to be really more prepared. Just talking to other retail store owners too, they just said that not until really school gets out and people can start coming up and opening their cabins, and the wives and the women start coming up here more too, that then you'll really start to see an increase.
That's when the real retail season begins.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be open, Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. Yeah. And then probably next week, then I'll probably start, Tuesday through Saturday until the end of the school year. And then, add Sundays in there by Memorial weekend.
And, while it is that fishing and more to the guys, I could see that there are several things within your store that would appeal to that, would appeal to the male customers. So might be kind of a little bit different of a schedule than other retailers in town.
I think so. And I think and it depends on too the weather, if it is really crummy weather, then that forces them to just kind of peruse a little bit more around town, and, and still it being a new store, seeing some action here that people are curious enough to want to poke in and see what we have.
Yeah. So what does the town do to get prepared for the fishing season or for really the summer season?
Nothing as far as like event wise. I mean, because it's like the month of April is like everybody's inside their doors getting ready and hunkering down and starting to prepare for the season. So you don't see much really going on. I mean, that's when all the deep cleaning is happening at a lot of places, a lot of carpet cleaning and cabin cleanings and stuff. And so I think it's more like once the school gets out time that, that's when all the restaurants for sure will be open, because we have probably at least half of our restaurants will close throughout the winter season as well. And so those are going to be just kind of testing the market over the next couple of weeks, testing their menus, and then be full on launched, come early June. We don't have any in-town events really, as far as like community-wide downtown events that go on until like the 4th of July. is kind of
Gotcha.
like our big
Okay.
thing here.
You said 4th of July, and then there's also, is it the Blueberry Fest at the end of July?
The Blueberry Fest at the end of July, and then also though around 4th of July this year is an all-class reunion, which
Oh,
will
okay.
run for a whole week. It's
Wow.
like 2 weekends, and it's the 100-year anniversary of our school.
Oh, fun. Okay, so bringing everybody back in town for the
Yeah.
100-year anniversary.
So I think that, that's definitely going to be a lot busier than normal as
Yeah,
well.
very exciting. So what changes, what all has been going on with the Ely Mercantile?
I've been slowly getting in some more inventory and getting things more set up than I have been in the past. And it's interesting though, is I got like these lanterns in. They're just like I'll just have to grab one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm the only one deciding what I'm buying, So I get these lanterns and I open the box and I'm like, oh, I mean, I really like these, but is anybody else gonna like these?
Okay.
I get kind of that whole imposter syndrome thing setting in and kind of panicking. But they're just these little, old camp style lanterns that light up or dim. They
Yeah.
even have a little dimmer on them. And I have them in 3 different colors.
Is that like a mint green?
Yeah, this is like
Okay.
a mint turquoise.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I was open for 2 days and I sold 5 of them.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, like I don't have that many. Like, what's it going to be like when it's busy?
Right.
And so I mean, these are like the things that I have to completely play by ear and decide. Do I, people were very interested in them, even if they didn't purchase one. People were very interested in them and talking about them. So it's like, do I order more like now? So I have them on hand so I don't run out. It's like, because I know you can really hurt your sales if you run out of the popular thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it is, at a certain point, you get to where you are looking at your inventory and looking at sell through and what are those items that are consistently turning and what are you making
Mhm.
those margins off of and doubling down on those items. But right now, it's kind of a little bit of figuring
Well,
out.
yeah, I'm just learning. We
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to be a sell through.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so just the fact that I thought that was rather impressive for, I mean, April was just, deader than a doornail. I mean, I was lucky if I would have, 10 people come in on a Saturday. But the fact that then those are the things they bought, that's where I have to kind of think, okay, they come in a bunch of other colors too,
Okay.
and 2 different sizes. So I'm just like, well, maybe I'm just going to have to order, a few half dozen more just because I think it went over well. But that's where not knowing, because I haven't been in business, this is where that scariness kind of sets in.
And you're
Like,
kind of, figuring out how much are you buying at a time, and or so with that initial order, did you place at the minimum order with the company, or what was kind of your buying
well, they
strategy?
had a bunch of different items. I mean, they had some books and some other little like cart fillers, and I mean, I think I went well over the minimum that I needed.
Okay.
But every time I order those, you have to order 6 at a time
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
of the
Minimum 6.
lanterns.
Yeah.
But and that's just it. It's just like I'm still trying to fill the store with other stuff,
Yeah.
but just because you get such a good response, should you like weight it and put a little more towards that, because obviously that has piqued people's interest, and nobody else in town carries anything like that.
Okay.
So those are the things that I'm just like, that makes my brain hurt sometimes, trying to have a conversation with myself because it's only me, trying to decide, should I, shouldn't I? I don't know.
Yeah, and you don't want it to be something that you invest a lot in, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden it's, well, it was popular amongst, I don't know, a group of people that were there at the time that came and vacationed, or that, maybe amongst a small group of local people, but then it's not translating to the summertime. So,
Right. I mean, and they weren't local people. I mean, it
okay.
was, I think,
Yeah.
definitely people that weren't local. And they were a few of them I heard them say, that they're still trying to decorate their cabin
Okay. Yeah.
and it would fit perfectly in there, which is exactly why I bought them.
Right.
So it's those kind of things that I think, can be very, daunting to people to have to
Yeah.
figure out. And I'm sitting here in the thick of it going, do I buy more or don't I buy more? I don't know.
And yeah, like, I don't know what the shipping time was with that, but want to make decisions in order to get them in place for when people are coming to their cabins that they can buy it. You have it on hand.
Yeah. And the shipping wasn't so bad. I mean, I
Good.
would say just, 5 days
Okay.
maybe,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like a long time, but it's, definitely learning also to, once you see something selling, and making sure that you have it back on hand, and, making sure that you've got the money to then purchase a few more of those, because obviously it's a hot item. And I did that with another thing. I had a puzzle, and it was a vintage camp puzzle.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just bought 4 of them, and because I'm just like, I'm not sure how this will go. Well, I've already sold 2, and it's like, okay, well, now I only have 2 left. And I'm like, don't do I buy more of those? Because I mean, it's amazing how just by selling 1 or 2 can really make a difference.
It starts
And
to, yeah, it starts to get you thinking of you need that next round in order to
yeah.
fill the gap. Yeah.
And again, to not disappoint people when they come in and not have any of those items. So those are the things that I think are very, you can only learn by going through
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
and figuring it out, and just literally taking a chance on things.
And with both of those, so the lantern is kind of more of a cabin decor piece. The
Hmm.
puzzle, I could see that being a lot for, it's the accessory within the cabin, kind of a rainy
Yep.
day, people to do. So having items like that on hand for the customers when they're coming in, when they're going to their cabins, probably that's a good lead as to kind of what the type of items might be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely where I'm heading as far as the kind of stuff
Yeah.
I want to fill the store with. So maybe I'm onto something
Yeah.
here.
Hey.
Maybe it's going to work. That's great. But it's just like, well, what if people came in and all 4 puzzles were gone? It's like, I'm being very, very light on ordering, because I'm just testing things, and it's not like I have a big back stock
Yeah.
at all of things. And so I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about it, or not, but I'm just trying to be more
Yeah.
conservative, I guess,
Yeah.
in things, and try it. Just giving people a little taste of it.
Yeah. And
So that's the
if they
whole
do come
learning thing.
in if they do come in and it's out of stock, you can always take their name, take their phone, email address, get an order, and let them know when it does come back in. So trying to give them that, if they're there for a couple weeks or week, be able to get that product to them by the time they go. So
Right. Well, and that even makes me think of, like, even having maybe a little sign that says, sorry you missed this,
yeah.
but we're sold out, but more are coming in, just so it's like, so then people can see that things are moving through here, just to do that kind of as a little marketing tactic. Like,
Yeah.
this was full, but now it's not.
But
Sorry.
more
But
products,
they're
more
coming.
of these are coming. And yeah, that extra step of, letting them know when the product is in store, makes you memorable, makes that customer service element that people love. And like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, and
yeah,
then I'll call you when it's in. I'll
yeah,
call you and let you know when it's in. That would just creates that contact with them. So
exactly. Yeah.
those are little things that I'm dealing with, that, cause me to think a lot
Yeah.
and ponder a lot. But I'm excited. I mean, it was very positive to think that that thing sold. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
That
Those
was
are good
good.
things. Yeah. Those are
Yeah,
good
those are good things.
ponderings. I don't know how much of what to buy because things are already selling, and yeah, kind of unexpectedly. So those are good
Well,
things.
and the little bit that I got from Kathy too is that she asked me originally, like, how much do you want to make? And so
Hmm.
I told her, like, what I want to make, just because that's what I've been making for a long time. And she's like, okay, so you need to sell $240,000 a year in order, in just some random formulas that they must go off
Okay.
of.
Yeah.
In general, you need to probably sell about this much. And so then when I was listening to another one of her YouTubes, it said
And you're talking,
that,
sorry, Kathy Donovan Wagner of
yes,
Retail
yep,
Mavens. Yes.
of
Okay.
Retail Mavens, yep. And she said that 48% of your expenses should be inventory. Like,
Okay.
don't go over that. Like, so I kind of reverse mathed it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so 48% of 240,000 ended up to be, I don't even know what it was, 115 or
Yeah, 100
something.
and yeah.
And so then I divided that by 7, just because we only have probably really 7 strong months,
Fair.
not
Yeah.
12. And so then it came out to being like $9,000 a month,
Okay.
you know? And so that's what I'm kind of just like in my brain pondering, like, okay, I shouldn't be at $20,000 by any means. I don't think I'm nowhere near 9 yet, but it's just like learning those little figures to have rolling around in my head is very helpful
Good. Good.
to know those kind of things. Like, what is like kind of general rules to follow?
Yeah. And how much of that, how much should be going towards your rent, how much should be going towards inventory, how much should be going, being able to break the business down like that in your own, how much should be going to you because you need to make a
Right.
profit off of this. All of those different buckets in order to really look at your business. And so I love that you reverse engineered that number in starting to look at, okay, where am I spending that money and where is that money coming from?
Because I've never been good with the money part of it. So I was listening to another of the Savvy Shopkeepers,
Yeah.
and it was episode 211. I remember, I can't remember
Okay.
what the name of it was, but she talked to a money person on there, and it just gave such great tips. To listen to it, it even said in the podcast, make sure you listen to this again. And so that
Okay.
was the second time that I was
Yeah.
listening to it, and more things seemed to stick about having those buckets, and definitely keeping your business and personal separate.
Mm.
I mean, when I first started running my own business, I was a sole proprietor, and then everything's just mushed together.
Yeah.
You're just
And
trying to
yeah.
figure out running your own business, much less figuring out the money part doesn't even happen. So you're as a sole proprietor and everything is melded together. Well, then I've been a S corp now for quite a few years, but things still get very muddy. I'm still not super good at just keeping it separate because it is just me.
Yeah.
It's, I didn't have employees or anything. And so it was still just me, and you borrow from here, you pay from here, you know,
For potential, prospective retailers, can you explain the differences between the sole proprietor and the S corp?
well, the sole proprietor, it's really, it's kind of like, oh, what's a good way to explain that? You run all your numbers and all your taxes are just done on like one form.
Okay.
So it's like your sole proprietor it's just you, your name, and you sold a bunch of stuff, and you can fill out your taxes are really easy. It's all on one form. When you become a corporation, I did it because I was in my sign industry then at the time, and I didn't want, if a sign fell on someone's head, like they couldn't
Right.
come and sue
Right.
me.
You
They
won't
would
be
sue the
liable for
company.
that. So it kind of pushes some of the liability elsewhere.
Yes. And so then you do your business taxes, and then they get applied to your personal taxes. So they're two separate entities. That's how I look at it. Whereas sole proprietor, it's one.
Two
It's your
separate things.
personal and your business all get filed together. So I'm running this now also as a corporation, just in mostly for the fact of if I want to sell it,
Yeah.
it will be easier to sell it. So I definitely want to get better at keeping things separate. And so again, I'm using that the Relay Financial,
Okay.
I think is phenomenal. And when I do get in there and start poking around and playing with money and playing with the buckets, it makes so much sense. And it's literally, if it's in a bucket and you don't see that bucket or have access to that bucket as easily as you do with the debit card, you do forget about it.
Yeah.
And then it's nice because it's sitting there and it's saved for a different purpose. I mean, the whole process of just getting Relay and then having all these little buckets I can create is I think, really going to be a huge saving grace
Good.
for me.
Yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that. They used to call it the envelope system, but you
Yep.
have, your different, basically different accounts or different sections where the money goes so that, you're not all of a sudden, oh, I have to pay taxes and I've used that money for inventory and, there's a deficit somewhere. So,
Yeah. And that's what I set up one the other day that was just called now salary,
okay,
so
good.
that I can then drip some money into there each week at the amount I want to make. I mean, I got to make sure I'm not taking more than what I want to make, because I have said this is all I need right now.
Yeah.
And so I want to cap it at that. I don't want to then, oh, we have an influx because we had a good weekend and then I go and blow some. Well, no, it's
Yeah.
still, I just want to keep my salary and use only that amount for my
Yeah.
personal
And that is
spending.
another
So,
great thing about it. It protects you, right? That you're
mhm.
not having a good week and overspending in another area, that it kind of sets it up for you that this is the amount that each section gets.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and still I'm, 4 months into this, and I'm still trying to set up my books
Yeah.
and do it the right way. But that, it is definitely the most probably daunting part, I would imagine,
Yeah.
for most people, is getting it set up and getting it done right. I don't have a bookkeeper because I do know how to do it, but it's more, if I get a bookkeeper, it's because of time, and I think it probably would save me a lot of time. But until I'm ready to make that real hard cut of like, okay, now just feed me my weekly paycheck and don't let me touch anything
Yeah.
else, then I will look into, getting a bookkeeper too, to just take that off my plate.
Yeah. That's hard. Trying to do everything and balance that. So,
Hmm. Because I do a lot of, borrow from Peter to pay Paul a
yeah.
lot,
Yeah. I
which,
mean, you're not the only one. Yeah,
yeah,
as you're setting things up, you're looking at it, it's got to come from somewhere. And so you're, taking it from this section to pay over here. And, but
right.
yeah,
But, I've had the luxury though of having a different type of business where I would have clients and I would have work that would be outstanding and invoices that hadn't been paid yet. And so it's always like, well, yeah, I have these invoices that are outstanding. I know that money's coming in yet.
right.
Where with retail, you don't have that.
You don't have the, knowledge, oh, this is on the books. It's eventually going to come in. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to have a net 30 on
Yeah.
people buying stuff, so I have to change that mentality of, if you're going to be down to where whatever you have is all you have
Yeah.
until the next opening day,
Yeah.
so it's a disciplinary action that I'm trying to take. So, and my cousin that is going to be working in here with me and having her apothecary in the store, we are learning too that we both very much function the same way financially.
Okay.
And so we are going to set aside a day next week in an afternoon where we're just literally going to write all our numbers down. And so that we both kind of are aware of things and are just maybe a little bit more in tune to what our finances are, and that we can kind of bank on each other a little bit, like
Yeah.
help each other out and support each other in that. Neither of us, I think, are good at it. So that doesn't
Not
really
yet.
help, but
Not yet.
yeah, not
You're
yet.
learning things. Yeah.
Not yet.
So tell me about the apothecary. What all different products is she going to have? And that'll be kind of a store inside a store.
Yeah, it's kind of a store inside a store. She's going to have this whole corner section of the store in here. And so she's a master herbalist
Okay.
and a wellness coach. And so she is gonna, have a bulk herbs, in the nice jars, on display, where then if people come in and they have certain ailments or certain things that they think that maybe she could help them with, she can mix up little remedies and stuff for them
Oh,
right on
okay.
site. But then she also has a lot of line of her own products, whether it's kind of like bath and body products, facial creams,
Yeah.
and bug anecdotes
Okay.
and salves and lotions. And then I think we're going to get into soaps. And then she does a lot of stuff for saunas, which we're in the Finnish country up here.
Yeah.
And if saunas are a big deal. And so she's got some products that we're going to incorporate with saunas as well. So I think it's going to be a really good complement to what I have here, kind of this old time vintage feel of a store.
Yeah.
And then
And
bringing in this apothecary.
good. Yeah. I mean, especially as you're saying, like, things for the saunas, things for the bug repellent. I mean, those will be necessary. So,
Well, and I want to really try to master this bug thing, because that is the kill.
right.
We get eaten alive up here.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
get eaten alive. And if we can fix that, if we can come up with some real remedies that really can help with that, then we're golden.
Yeah.
Then we will have solved so many problems.
That will be a top seller. That'll be a
Top
people
seller.
going out fishing, going to be buying for camping, for the cabins. That'll be huge.
Oh, for sure. It would be a big draw to
Yeah,
get people in here with. So it's a problem we're working on.
good,
Yep.
good. Did want to talk to you about social media. And so as you are getting into busy time of the year, I'm sure we're kind of ramping up your social media and letting people know about the Ely Mercantile, about your store. So what all have you done to start experiment with social media? What platforms are you on?
You're funny because you say ramping up, and I can say, how about starting?
Starting, yeah.
Starting. I have a Facebook page and I have an Instagram page.
Okay.
Now I've never been much of an Instagram person,
Yeah.
but I'm going there. I have been adding a whole bunch of stuff to my feed, and I'm actually really enjoying the Instagram because I'm really kind of done with Facebook.
Sure.
I really want to transition to be literally just on Instagram. And maybe during this transition period too, it will just double post on both.
Yeah.
But I will post on Instagram, and then it will copy over to Facebook. I think that's going to be my definitely my target market. People are on Instagram. I think with just using images and little videos, I think I can definitely grasp what is necessary to be
Yeah.
successful on there. And I'm looking forward to it. And because the season is starting now this weekend, it's like there's my deadline. It's like I okay, that's it. I have to put out this intro video, kind of explaining the store, and then I have to commit, to 1 to 2 a week of postings. It's just it has to be part of my new schedule and my new routine. And so I think that's the one part that I've been hesitant about is like, okay, but if I start, can I sustain that right now? And
Yeah.
now I
And
think now that I have more inventory in and I have more things to focus on, I think I can develop some posts from that.
yeah, I mean, so content strategy wise, is that a post about what are you thinking about product? Are you thinking what kind of things are you wanting to post?
I think definitely mostly product.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely product stuff. I mean, can be a couple. I'd like to do a couple events this summer, little
Okay.
special event things that we can then definitely do the social on, and helping with the apothecary and promoting that because that's
Yeah.
a new concept for our town as well. But I think just doing I think product is going to be
Yeah.
enough because I have enough different things that should
And
be enough.
yeah, and well, you have several different things, and just from right there, talking about product within your store, the apothecary aspect of it. If you're having events, you can have things kind of leading up to that for the weeks in advance, letting people know about it. So
Mhm.
you'll have more content than what you know, and it is kind of just the discipline of getting it put out there, getting pictures taken, being able to post those, but.
Well, and especially with also me being an artist and wanting to create a lot of the products that I sell, that too it takes discipline. And I just literally today was out installing probably my last big sign project
Okay.
that I'll be doing. And so it's like once I can really put that to bed and put that business off my plate, then I can dive deep into doing real art that I want to
Yeah.
create for the store. And I think that's going to be a huge amount of postings and
Yeah.
content that I can be creating as well. So I just need to get onto that cycle.
Yeah, I could even see, as you're wearing the Merc shirt, so or sweatshirt. So as if you made that in store, you could film yourself making things.
Hmm.
That being, people love that behind the scenes, right? They want to see how it's made. That you're making it in store. I think that could be really popular.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and that's what I'm filling my Instagram with is also filling it with other artists and as
Good.
they show
Yeah.
their process. And it's like
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by watching
Right.
theirs. I have to jump on that bandwagon and do the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, and you can do like special orders as people are asking for it in store. You're making it, you film that, you're able to give it to them, kind of be able to see that whole cycle. That could be really fun.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to with the store too, is that it's not just going to be different products, that it is kind of an artist that's also creating a place to sell her
Yeah,
own wares.
yeah,
It's my own gallery per se.
yeah. And definitely put those lanterns on there if they're already selling. You can have
Oh yeah.
yeah, selling out fast, counting down how many's left until you get a new shipment in. Yeah, things like that create that scarcity. That would be great.
Oh yeah, that like just doing that, this new color came in,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, just I only have 3 colors, but there's like 8.
yeah.
So I've got some to play with. Yeah.
So what challenges, and I know you're just starting off, but what challenges do you see to having social media and having that be a part of the business?
I mean, I think it's definitely necessary. I mean, I like the whole platform of Instagram because it is so visual, and that's
Yeah.
definitely where my brain lies anyway. So I think it should be a great working platform for me. I think that it's going to play a big part in getting the word out about the store, but then also, like we talked about last time, is that email list
Yep.
too. That's going to be my other huge little private assistant helping me get the word out too, is going to be through that email list as well. But I think that the Instagram is going to be because there's so much more of the younger people on there
Yep.
too, more so than on Facebook, that I think it's going to meet a wider age range of people than what I was originally thinking would be my target market. I mean, my daughter, she's a junior, and she just comes in here and she's like, "Mom, I just love your store." I'm
I mean,
like,
the
"Great." you
vintage
know.
look is incredibly popular. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be popular with people. I know you have lots of the elements of the old school that are a part of your building.
Yeah.
Definitely be that, and you have merchandise with the school name on it.
Mhm.
Be that nostalgic part, but I think also it will appeal to a younger generation from the vintage look from that standpoint.
The retro,
Yeah.
I need to get in the trucker hats yet. That's
Okay.
what I need
Yeah.
to get in, is the trucker hats. Yeah.
Those are very popular. I've seen, as I'm traveling around, I've seen different stores with trucker hats or having a kind of make your own, patches on the hat events. So yeah, I mean those are popular.
Well, my niece is 25, and she told me that too, that, just you got to have a trucker hat with
Oh,
your business name on it. And I buy those at every place I go.
interesting. Yeah. Well,
So I got
that
to get some of those in.
it is interesting. The kind of is you're talking the difference of an Instagram and Facebook, and
Hmm.
every retailer is on Facebook and they have their page there, and a lot do kind of cross post over. But yeah, I think the market and kind of customers, you'll have both as kind of, different groups that you're appealing to. But yeah, having that much more visual aspect can relate really well to Instagram too.
I think what Facebook will do for me is to get me more Instagram followers,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there's in our town, and I think in a lot of tourist towns, or maybe every town, there's a Facebook page that it's called What's Up Ely.
Okay.
So it's always like what's up and what's happening. And so businesses and people post on this what's up. Well, the amount of people on there is the tens of thousands,
Wow.
that follow that because they've all been to Ely or vacation here. And so they follow that page. And so if I put out business announcements there, then maybe
Absolutely.
from there they'll get to the website and then get to Instagram and become a hardcore fan
Yeah, absolutely. That's a
that
great,
way.
yeah. That infrastructure is already built, just being able to use that to promote
Hmm.
your own business. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, and that again being a tourist town, that you get that kind of a following.
Yeah.
That our town being only 6,000 people, but that Facebook page is well over 20, if not more. That
Okay. Yeah.
follow that.
Yeah. So, with social media, as you're posting, there's kind of the element of a brand of voice. Have you thought about the voice of Ely Mercantile, kind of how you want to portray yourself, how you want to speak to your customers?
I'm trying to be very natural.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it just has to be me. I mean, the people that I talk to and the friends of mine, they're just like, if you are just you, that's all they need. So I'm not really creating a new voice or trying to talk in a different tone. I want it to be a little, and probably because I'm this way, a little snarky, or make them laugh. Do I don't want to be serious. I don't want to be like formally written. I really wanted it to be just off the cuff and just as if I'm just talking to them normally.
Approachable.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, totally approachable. Yeah. I mean, when I talk about things that I know and things that I'm passionate about, I think I've been told that it just really comes across that way.
Yeah.
It really comes across as something that you're passionate about and it's very contagious. And so just don't try and make it something else. I mean, I'm not one who just like dresses up every day. I'm very jeans and sweatshirts or jeans and flannel kind of girl. I'm just very, you're an everyday person,
Yeah.
so it's like I'm trying to keep it very, very natural as much as I can.
And it being truly your voice, I think
Mhm.
that'll help cut down on some of maybe the anxiety around postings or what to say during it, or you're not trying to have a kind of formal, more, I don't know, I hate not stuffy, but just a formal voice to it. It can just be you. It can just be, you
That
can,
takes a lot of the pressure off.
that takes a lot of
Yeah.
pressure where you could just say, hey, hey guys, this is what's going on. It could just be very much you as opposed to, that more corporate speak or a more formal, well-written grammar, well, grammatically correct.
Well, yeah, make
Statements.
apologies for the bad English,
Yeah, yeah,
have the disclaimer written on there because
yeah.
I'm by no means an English major. I mean, I've even thought about doing like a Instagram series or weekly something where it's like, what I got done on my to-do list today because I never get anything done on
Yeah,
my to-do
fair
list,
enough. Yeah,
and so it's like almost taking that and making that maybe relatable to people to think
absolutely.
like, yeah, we can make a list, but I look at, I'll show you. I got one thing done on my list yesterday, so how did you all do?
And that could be really funny. That could be a good, you could have just like very basic things on there, like got out of bed and you cross that off. And
Yeah.
yeah, just like I did my basics today. And you know what? Everything else was just, I'll get to it tomorrow.
Well, and I hate to have to live by that theory of, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And it's like,
Yeah.
it is. I have the best of intentions always,
Yeah.
but it ain't getting me
It
anywhere,
just, yeah.
So
At least you wrote
maybe
them
I can
down
call
and you didn't
myself
forget
out on
about
it.
them. You can look
Mhm.
back at that and be like, all right, hey, that goes on to tomorrow's to-do list. But yeah,
Yeah. And so, I mean, and it's accountability thing too. If I actually am starting to really fail at this, it's like now I want to take some pride in actually getting 5 of those things done today.
sure.
And so
Yeah.
then I can brag about that.
Yeah.
And so I'm even, I can print and stuff my own stationery. And so I'm trying to come up with kind of some to-do list tablets,
Okay.
that are kind of like that. Like, here's what I'm not going to do today list,
Right.
just because that's so me,
A, a
so
to-do tomorrow list.
yeah,
And yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Awesome. Well, you talked about a fear of failing or getting off. I think you are set up to do really, really well this summer. I think you're going to be very successful. You're already seeing some great things with the products that you're bringing in. So, be whether it's through social media or in person in your store, I think you're going to really appeal well to your customer base, and they're gonna really enjoy the store that you've created.
I had a customer came in the other on Saturday and she ordered a sweatshirt. And so then she's like, well, I'm going to go shopping. And so I made her sweatshirt while she went around to the other stores. And then when she came back and she's like, I have to tell you, you have the cutest store in town. I'm like, thank you. Like, that's my
Yeah,
goal. Thank you.
that's which
That's
is
what
like,
I'm
oh my
trying to
gosh,
do.
we're just
Yeah.
opening up, so thank you so much. Oh, that's
Like
amazing.
I'm not even done, but
Yeah.
thank you. So yeah, that was a good uplift for me for sure.
Yeah, well, then continue with that momentum, continue with the good feels, and you're gonna have a great summer.
Great. Yeah, I'm very hopeful, very optimistic.
Well, I cannot wait to continue following along with your story and learning more about how this next couple weeks goes, and as you get into the real summer season in June.
Yeah, when things are really hopefully crazy. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see that.
Absolutely. Well, Kira, thank you so much. Is there, I guess, anything else kind of going on with the store that you wanted to touch on before we jump off today?
No, not that I can think of. Not now. I mean, when I next time we talk, it'll be open, probably at
Absolutely.
least 6 days a week. So
Yeah,
it should be a little bit different. Yeah.
very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I've offered this out before, but if anyone has advice for Kara or wants to give kind of well wishes, you can send them to myself at contact at Heart on Main Street, or Kara, what's an email address people can reach you directly? And
They can reach me at Kara, just Kara at elymercantile.com.
Perfect. And I'll put that in with our notes. So excellent. All right, Kara, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was Kara Poliner of the Ely Mercantile in Ely, Minnesota. I really am so excited for her and for her journey and to learn about everything that goes on to owning an independent retail store. I think many of us know that it is a difficult job, a full-time job, a 24/7 job, and you're starting to get that through our conversation where she was talking about the things that she's always thinking about and what's keeping her up and where her mind is. I feel like that's a very common thing for independent retailers. So I'm excited for her to get into her journey and really learn about her store and have a great successful first summer in Ely. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. This episode is written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Kaiser, with a very special thanks to Kara Poliner. To learn more about Heart on Main Street, you can visit www.heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe, shop small, and have a great week.